Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It is Wednesday, August the 7th, and I'm joined with Chip Chirimbes, as always. And you can find me and Chip over at gamblersworld.net, who is powering, as always, Winner Circle here on YouTube. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, put on that notification bell. We are at 14,000 plus subscribers. Let's get it. I want that 15 by the end of the year. Maybe get it beforehand. I'm long term, so I could get it through Christmas time. That'll be a great Christmas gift. Thank you very much for hitting the like, subscribing here, Winner Circle Podcast every day. And when I say every day, it is Monday to Friday, 5 days a week. We come at you for recorded videos, and soon to be on Friday, the Football Friday Live will be back in action. Me, Chipper, we're gonna have some guests coming in, so. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on the Twitter, on the X. I don't want to give away who's coming on. It's a secret. You're going to have to wait and see. Maybe I'll tell you the day before. Maybe there'll be an announcement. Who knows? I like the drama of it all. Gamblersworld.net. Find the premium stuff. I'm going to tell you, I had a bad day yesterday. What am I going to do? I take the over. We went 1-1 in video yesterday, Chip. I had the over Orioles game here. You had a winner with the Phillies. I take over Orioles. The pitcher, Rodriguez, who I love, not great numbers on the road. The guy gets scratched. Totally screws up everything for me. Thank you very much. I'll be talking about the Mariners in a minute in this game. I had them on a run line yesterday against the Tigers. What are we going to do? Kansas City, wet in the bed at home here? Not a good day for me, but I am not concerned. It's one day. It's a hiccup, a little, as I say, the rearview mirror behind us, the windshield in front of the car, the entire front. We're looking ahead. Baseball, NFL preseason, college football. So it's going to be NBA. It's going to be March Madness before you know it, folks. No, I'm only kidding. We got time for March Madness. Chipper, how you doing?
Sir. Not bad. I
split
yesterday. My top game was rained out. I was into the Diamondbacks, and now they're playing the doubleheader today, and that always messes me up because of the possibility with the pitching and the frame of mind too of these players that they may change and entering a doubleheader. Yes. So I'm passing on that game today, although yesterday it was my top release.
I feel like on the doubleheaders, I'm the same way.
You know,
if there's going to be some kind of rain delay, I'm like, all right, I got to get off the game because a pitcher's going to come in a la Dylan Cease yesterday, pitch an inning, 2-hour rain delay, whatever. He doesn't come back out, just changes the whole aspect. A team playing well, is it going to kind of switch how they're swinging the bats or just grooving along? So, yeah, and we got 2 double dips today. We got Cleveland and Arizona. And I liked your Arizona. You said you liked Arizona. I don't like the Rodriguez, no spring training, no rehab starts. He hasn't pitched in over a year when he's back with the Tigers. He's going to come in here cold to pitch? Come on. Right? I mean, you liked Arizona, you said. Right?
Yesterday I posted Arizona over Cleveland. Yeah. And like I said, when the rain out comes, you know what? I lost my train of thought, but I was thinking about when you said you had the totals and they switched to pitchers. It used to be in this business, if there was a pitching change, the total was no bet, no action, because the run line over-under is determined on the starters, whereas a team bet isn't necessarily as impactful. But so there we go with the pitching changes, and I don't think you're supposed to be credited with a loss when that happens.
That's more for site kind of stuff, right? I can't go in and delete picks because the pitcher gets scratched at 6:00. The picks are up, good, bad, or indifferent. It happens sometimes. It's frustrating, but you know what? We're still having good seasons. It still is what it is.
That's why I like betting team. I think of teams first, but the totals. If you're going to bet over-unders, the pitchers are the key factors. So.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'm thinking the guy's going to get hit or not get hit.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? It's part of the gambling world that we live in.
Day in the life.
Again, I want to jump back into the Arizona-Cleveland game because yesterday it was Lively versus Rodriguez making his first start back. Right. And not only is that not the first game, they pushed that back because now you got B. Fatty going in game 1. And now I got Carrasco. Now it's Carrasco versus Rodriguez. So, which is the thinking for me there. And I'm not a Carrasco guy. I think he's having a bad year, and he's well past what you think you'd throw him out as all right, we lose to B. Fatty, right? P. Fatty. I like P. Fatty. He had a great playoff last year. But why am I going to put Lively, who's having a great season, and that's a good win? He goes out, I got a shot of winning that game. Carrasco, I got a 50-50 shot. My guys better be hitting the ball. Yeah. Why wouldn't you switch it? So worst case, you split. If this is the case, you're thinking, you know what, we're going to go and get Arizona as well as Arizona's playing. I don't know. I think that's a little odd. I mean, Carrasco is bad, but we think Rodriguez is going to be worse because he hasn't pitched the year. Right? A lot of times you see them do that. It'll be not the two great guys pitch against each other. Right. One team will move the other starter and be like, right, it's a doubleheader. If we're going to split, we're going to split. We could sit a guy in the first game or sit a guy in the second game. It works out well for everybody. We get a, you don't want to, how these teams are now with these baby players. You don't see guys coming out here for 9 at-bats and pitchers throwing relief pitchers and back-to-back doubleheaders for an inning. But that's neither here nor there. That's just some, interesting stuff we could bring up. Tomorrow, we got NFL football. Doug will be joining us. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. Not much really to add to it today. I mean, same kind of stuff. We'll know more tomorrow about the total rotations. We saw that Jordan Love may play here now. That he wasn't going to play. Now he's going to play for the Packers against the Browns. Weird. Bryce Young not playing for Carolina. He's our guy. He's your guy. Did you see how he played last year? You want that guy? He's your guy. Let him throw the ball a little bit. Let's see if somebody can catch the ball for the guy. Holy goodness gracious. Any hoot. Listen, folks, now, before we get to that, we have a 429 package available for the second half of baseball. Get them all through the World Series. All the baseball you need. Me, Chipper, Doug Upstone with us, and the rest of the gang. There's 12 of us. Go get a second half package or the 3, 7, and 30-day passes guaranteed, which means if we don't show a profit over a 3, 7, or 30-day window, you get credit, and then we get back at it. We try to find you, or you find who you want to use to get back on track. On track, Blake Snell, San Francisco Giants, a big 160 here on the road versus Irvin. I like Irvin. Total is 8 here. But let's be honest with Snell. It's safe to say he is back in his Cy Young form. He usually starts out bad. He was brutal this year. Bad. Oh, I'm hurt. Let's send him to the minors. That's what happens when your agent holds out for a huge sum of money. Nobody pays you. You turn into Montgomery there for Texas and Snell here for the first half of the year, which is kind of par for the course for this guy. But a no-hitter, great for the no-hitter. His July starts, 8 hits in 24 innings. The guy's got 8 hits, 2 runs around in his last 5 games. Yeah. So he's clearly dealing. The mind-blowing part of it, and it's been talked about, the guy's got into the 8th inning, twice? Like, he doesn't even go past 7. It's bizarre. And they talk about this guy. Oh, he's a Cy Young. He's a Hall of Famer with 2 Cy Young. Listen, this guy, I don't care he's got 2 Cy Youngs. He's not a Hall of Famer. I'm going to rant on that a little bit after your pick because it's just the 2 of us today. But you got this game, Giants and the Natties. Go ahead. I don't know what you could add because it's a big number. He's pitching great. Is it a letdown spot? I don't know.
It's a tough call, I think, just in the matchup in general. And then you have the Giants, such a heavy favorite here. The total's 8. I think you're laying $1.60 or something in around there because of how effective Snell has been. Sean, how about the way he started the season? He couldn't get you and I out, and now people can't even get to first base. His ERA was over 10. And in the last 5 starts, as well as he's pitched, he's only won one of those games. The Giants aren't exactly, I think, I don't think they're a wild card team this year. I don't think they always seem to be in contention every season, but I don't think they get there this year. But 33 innings and only 8 hits and 5 starts, that's really something else. I don't know how you play against it. He's had 41 Ks in that time. He's 2-1 lifetime over Washington. In 30 innings, he's had 41 Ks against the Nationals. Jake Irvin going for Washington, 8-9. Not bad at all pitching for this club. At 8-9 with a 3.56 ERA. He's thrown some decently at least. I'm in a quandary here about this, Sean. How do you see this game going anyway? I think basically San Francisco is a better club. I hate laying that $1.60. If I was to play this, I would lay the run line, I think, or possibly play it under. But It's not a strong play. I'm not coming out with like it would be one of my premium plays, but that's the way I see this one right now.
Yes, run line Chips official free pick
Right.
video. Again, folks, listen. I throw the schedule out on a Sunday. I try to find good matchups here, um, with teams pitching matchups, a little something more interesting. We are getting into the dog days. They're called dog days for a reason because you got a team like the White Sox losing 20 in a row. You got teams that are all but out of the playoffs. You know how they're going to pitch. So sometimes it might not be the sexiest matchup where we will have a premium on it. It is a free pick. If you want the premium stuff, go check out gamblesroll.net where Chip is on a roll plus 7 dimes the last 60 days. Not too shabby for our guy Chip. And I would say yes with the run line here. But you are in a quandary because the Giants can't score. They have
Right.
trouble scoring runs.
Right.
And you look at this team beginning year. Oh, Snell's going to be good. Okay. Robbie Ray will be back from injury. He'll be okay. Logan Webb's great at home. And here they are floundering around the 500 mark. You mentioned still a 9.51 ERA on June 2nd. Yeah, it's 4.29. He cut it in half in a month.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, that's what. Listen, you go 6 innings and don't give up any runs in the game. It's going to come off fast because he was in spots where he was just giving up 5 and 3 innings and ridiculous kind of nonsense. Here comes the adjustment. Good run for him. Giants, I don't know what they're thinking holding on to him and Ray and Conforto and the rest of these guys at the trade deadline. Maybe they thought they could go on a run because the Dodgers are kind of floundering. Arizona's, we're waiting on Eduardo Rodriguez, who hasn't pitched in a year, and Merrill Kelly to come back. It is kind of – I think both leagues are kind of wide open. And, you know, before I get into my game with the Tigers in Seattle, I mentioned Grace Rodriguez getting scratched yesterday for the Orioles. Now you're the Orioles, who I thought pencil them into the World Series. Let's go make a trade. You get Zach Eflin, which is nice. He would have been a good 2-3 guy behind Burns. Trevor Rogers remains to be seen if he's going to pull it around here with a change of scenery kind of deal. But Rodriguez is out. You're already down Means, right? Bradish, Wells. The bullpen guy, Batista's been out. Kimball is bad. I mean, you didn't address a big need here. And lo and behold, here come the big bad Yankees. Pitching is, hey, listen, they don't have to be great. They were great the first half when they weren't hitting. Now all of a sudden, you got Judge and Soto. Sanchez brings some youth and attitude into the crew. Here comes Stanton back like he was the first half. If I'm Baltimore, I don't think it's all sunshine and roses anymore. I think they got a problem. The Astros seem to have found pitching. They're always going to be dangerous. Orioles, what are you doing here, folks? What are you doing, Baltimore? Unbelievable. What do you think, Russ? Let's just right now, today, first week of August, you got a free $500 bet, ALNL. What would your thought your team be to come out of each division or each league, I should say? What would you have? Just two teams. What would you think about?
You know, I tell you the truth, Sean. I try not to project over that long haul because I don't like to get locked in, even in my own mindset. It's why
you get a little bias. It happens.
I hate doing that, like in football when when you're predicting, and we may be doing that before the week's over, predicting who's coming out of the divisions. But then if you've made a commitment, like I have, say I make a commitment, okay, the Yankees are going to win the East. In my head, I know that I've got them with you for the entire season, and I'm rooting for them so that everyone wants to be right. You don't want to be wrong and sit here and give an illicit prediction. But it's a tough racket, and I hate to look that far ahead because I hate to get locked into something.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of it. I'll do future win totals. I think a team's going to be good. I think certain pitchers are. I'm looking for breakout years, and that's how I kind of go into my early handicap for baseball. And I'm having a good season, so it's paid off so far. Obviously, the Royals have been a good payday for me, but I thought the Orioles, as the season was going on, go get a pitcher and another bullpen closer guy, and I think not that you could sew something up early, but you were talented enough and you had the depth to go get what you needed to really put you over top in a league. Let's look at the baseball this year. It is all over the place. Beginning here, the Dodgers are going to win 120 games. This is the best team ever assembled. Yeah, well, how are they doing? They might not win their division right now the way the Padres are playing, right? I mean, the Braves are going to be great. Well, yeah, they can't hit the ball, and they lose a Cy Young guy, but yet, Chris Sale comes out of nowhere Not out of nowhere. He's healthy, but who's that Lopez guy they got over there out of nowhere? Blanco for the Stros. You're thinking Framber's going to be Cy Young guy. Nope, it's this other guy coming out of nowhere having a great year. So you don't know what you're going to get. And in a wide open time, how you don't go all in. I mean, it makes zero sense to me. There's no next year. Next year is not guaranteed for you because here you go with 5 starting pitchers on the injured list now. You turned into the Texas Rangers overnight. You turned into the Rangers. Rangers started the season this way, and it's August, and they're still this way. The guys are not back. Scherzer just went back on the injured list. Now you're the Orioles thinking, there's always next year. Always, yeah. That's a great mindset to have in baseball. When if you win one, your friends, the fans forgive you. I mean, the Cubs won one in 150 years, and the fans aren't upset. Come on, Orioles, do better. I'm not even an Oriole fan. It's just frustrating when you see a team that's like on the cusp of really a great run.
Well, they needed pitching from the beginning. You said from the onset, and that's where the injuries seemed to attack them, and it made them even more vulnerable. And they didn't do anything with it, which is, they're picking up players, but they're not picking up what they need. They need a closer, and they need somebody that can give them some innings because their pitching, it's been a shambles because of the injuries.
I'm sure listen, whatever the Tigers wanted for Scuba was probably a lot, and they probably didn't want to give up 3 or 4 of the top guys, thinking like, oh boy. Hindsight being 2020, when you lose your number 2 guy now, you'd be like, oh my goodness. I thought Eflin was a good pickup. Rogers wasn't even a terrible pickup for what they traded for him. Right. I mean, one guy went to the minor leagues, the other guy's 1 for 15 since it's coming up. You could get another pitcher. You couldn't get a bullpen guy. You couldn't pull Tanner Scott away from the Marlins when you got Trevor Rogers. He went to San Diego. You couldn't grab a kid from Colorado out of their bullpen. There's plenty of bullpen arms to grab. Never enough pitching, folks. Never. I've been saying that. I say that all the time here. Speaking of Scooble and the Tigers, they trade Flannery. Maybe they say, hey, why are we going to trade Scooble? Because we think we're going to be good in a couple years. And then down the road, we'll be like, we don't have a starting pitcher because we traded him away. Scooble today is a plus 120 dog. Seattle laying a $135. Total is a 6. Are you kidding me? We saw this yesterday in the Cubs game. It was 4-1 in the first inning or something. Now, I'm not really going to overthink this thing here with Scooble and the Mariners. I had Seattle last night run line thinking, you're starting to hit a little bit, Seattle. You got a bad guy going for Detroit. You got a possible Cy Young winner on the hill today. You got to win that game with Castillo on the hill. Instead, you lose because, like the entire season, you haven't been getting much hitting. Forget clutch hitting, just hitting in general. They are the worst. I wrote it down. They are the worst league batting average team at home at 204, and the worst for lefties at 215. And here comes basically Cy Young in here, and he's going to be an underdog. I am square. I am a jack in the box. I'm so square in this play. I don't care. I will take Scooby Dooby Dooble at plus 120. I'm not going to overthink it. Seattle can't hit. I gave the numbers versus lefties overall at home. Just in general, I mean, I could talk about their under on the season. What a wasteful pitching staff. That pitching staff in baseball today, probably one of the top 2 or 3 overall. I forget about big names and stuff like that, or guys going 12-4. If you look at their strikeouts, the whips, the home numbers, all that stuff, the Seattle team is excellent, and they cannot buy a win at the dish. Just terrible. Give me the Tigers plus 120 with Scooble.
Yeah, I understand that completely. Scooble's been outrageous, 2.57 ERA. He's even got wins with the Detroit team, which is so weak hitting. And that's the problem with both these clubs is their at-bats. Kirby's got a 3.04 ERA, only 8 wins because the Mariners just don't score many runs. He's only given up 4 runs, Sean, in his last 4 starts, 24 innings covering. And Scobel as well is 136 innings this year, 162 strikeouts, and only 103 hits. I think this game is destined to stay under. And like you said today's August 7th. But you know what happened August 7th in 1956? Sean, this is another great one for us. A guy by the name of Satchel Paige was 51 years old. And
hold on a second. I got to interrupt you because yesterday he was 46 throwing.
Yeah, but it's a different year.
I know. I'm just saying he's 46 pitching. He's pitching at 51.
Yeah. At 51, he pitched for the Miami Marlins in the Orange Bowl. a AAA game that drew 57,000 people, still the highest attendance in a minor league game in baseball history. Also, in this state in 1956, the same day as Satchel Paige was pitching, Ted Williams got suspended for spitting at fans for the third time in 3 weeks. And it was a dark day in 2007 when a large-headed steroid taking athlete passed Hank Aaron for the most home runs, and that was in 2007. I won't even mention that guy's name. But baseball, and we're going to play the under between Seattle and Detroit because of these two fine arms on the mound. The problem with us, Sean, when we do this is, like you said, they go to the bullpen. What we have going for us is that neither of these teams are big scoring teams.
Seattle unders, and I had them last week against Phillies. I'm like, you know what? Phillies are lost 4 or 5 in a row coming into Seattle. Give me some under here's. Yeah, every game was like 6-1 going over 7s. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Now they're hitting. Now they start to hit. Last night, I need them to generate some runs. They can't do a thing. Seattle's just been a thorn in my side the entire season. Yeah. But I'll agree with you on the under there. Again, a 6 spot. Holy cow. Like, this is like Maddox, Randy Johnson. This is, yeah. Man, those guys were putting up 6s in steroid era baseball, folks. So you can talk about steroids and this and that, like, oh, it was a joke. Maddox, Glavine, Randy Johnson, Pedro, they were an era of Mr. Bonds. Maybe he was pre-steroid era still back then before it really took off, but he was different offensive league. Totals then, you saw 6s with these guys. You saw 6s and 6.5s in a era with guys – multiple 20 guys hitting 40, 50 home runs. Now to see this is still odd, but I'm shocked we don't see more of it based on all these guys with 200 in these team batting averages, Chip. Like we've talked about this the other day with these batting averages.
It's because they think you're going to see so many different pitchers nowadays. I mean, you see one pitcher, 2 pitchers. Now you're seeing 4 and 5 different pitchers. And, I always feel, Sean, that sooner or later, one of these guys isn't going to have his best day. And, it's the state of affairs in Major League Baseball nowadays. These 1-inning pitchers using 5-6 pitchers in the game. And all you need is one guy to have a little control problems or give up the long ball. So it's way different than it has been in the past.
I had to look at like bullpen days, right? That and the thing in the past, they'd bring up some 4A minor leaguer or literally be like your long reliever for baseball on your roster. He'd come in for 5 and whatever happened. And those were kind of games where like, you know what? Whoever's playing that game should win. Home team, road team. Bullpen day would usually be like, just take the favorite in that game because it's going to get ugly or it'll be a 6-0 game because the other team will be like, let's just get out of here, right? It would be a travel day, bullpen day for a team. Now these bullpen days, like you said, these guys see a pitcher, right? Because they'll break down, well, the second time through a lineup, a team's, he's giving up a 340 batting average as opposed to 199. Now you got a bullpen day. A guy comes in for an inning, 1, 2, 3, and a guy comes in for 2 innings, gives up a hit, he's gone. Another guy comes in for 2 innings, he might give – bullpen day now are almost like you got to look at it. Bullpen day, like, wow, this is a good opportunity for me to maybe make some money on an under or a team total under because I've got 5 guys coming in here going 2 1/3 inning or whatever. I don't know. Some days I just got to avoid them. I don't know what your thought is. I know that's just my little opinion here for the chat as we're wrapping up.
For the most part, I'm not looking for totals as it is. Maybe I'm so old school with it. I've done all right with them when I use them, but for the most part, I'd say they're maybe 10% of my action.
Yeah, I mean, I used them, and I was having a good little run. The last couple weeks, I've just been hovering around 500, up a little bit because I do take dogs, but we've talked about the change of, I don't know if it's really the attitude or perception of the winners and losers, traders, in its outs, the mindset of players. So thank goodness football's here because a day like today, I got 4 doubleheaders, right? 4 teams playing in a doubleheader. So that's 4 games I really don't want anything to do with. It's kind of like, how's that going to be? Like normally I'm like, I'm taking either the home team in both games or the dog in both teams because it's tough to sweep a doubleheader. Nowadays, I'll kind of pass on that one. And then you got a road favorite like our guy Snell here, which is a pick of the show. We'll talk about that when we wrap up. Big faves on the road. I don't like big faves. I'm like you. I don't want to. I would just pass. If it wins, that's fine. I didn't have to do it. I'm still up. I'm not. I'll still be able to turn the lights on. I don't have to bet it because it's August 7th and it's a big favorite today. We got some football coming up. It's a good time to study a little bit about the upcoming season, get some work done. Totals for me on the year, 85 and 63, 57% up, 1,500 and change off $100 bet. So, and I'm an under guy, but here we go. My last couple, loss, win, loss. What's that? 1 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 2 and 5, 2 and 6 with my total. So, you know what? I'm going to try to ease away from those kind of things and refocus the aim, I guess, to something a little better. But again, subscribe here, Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast channel here on YouTube, gamblersworld.net for all the premium stuff. Picks today. Chipper, official. These are show picks. This is not what he's got going on site. I'll let him tell you about what he's got on the site in a second. Show pick today. Giants run line plus 105. I am taking the Detroit Tigers plus 120. Scooby and the Snell. A little Scooby and Snell show here for Chip and I. But Chip, what do you got going on today on the sites or this weekend? Tell us what you got. Talk away.
Thank you. Of course, the football is going to be full bore on tomorrow, but and I usually like to put out a 3-pack, 3 games with the top play being my mega buck play or the A play. Today, with the schedule being the way it is and with the odds being what they are, I posted 1 game. It's a power play, and I've been running really, really well with these 18 and 3, believe it or not, in the last 3 weeks with power plays. Yesterday, it was Philadelphia, my power play, 6-2 winner over the Dodgers. My single strongest play of the day. It's not a mega buck winner, but it is a top play for me. Log on, follow the buy links, and get my single game winner today, my single game release, which I like to do, by the way, and that's why I've always been called the A play, the single strongest play of the day.
Chip, you're up over 7,100 last 60 days on Gamblers World. Not a bad run. You say you have 1 game today, schedule, you're kind of like, I'm not really crazy. Yeah. Hi, I got 1 game myself as well. We didn't talk about this off air before we get on. We just kind of talk about the picks. We write them down, what we're picking. Don't talk about premium stuff, what's going on until obviously now. But, are me and Chip the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to betting? No, we don't say we are. We win, we lose, it is what it is. But here we are on a Wednesday in August, and we both looked at the schedule last night and today, and we're kind of like, you know what? I'm not going to really kind of crazy force anything. Yeah, I like a game. I liked the game last night. I put it up. It didn't change for today. It's just the same game up there. I'm like, It's funny. Funny how that works. A lot of times you see that when we do our show, we kind of had the same kind of mind think, and people get upset like, oh, everybody agrees here. That's not always the case. But in a day like this where you want to run because we got day action today. We got to bet day early. You don't have to do it. You don't got to do it. It's okay. Anyway, Chipper, 7,100 in his pocket. Not a bad run. Not a bad baseball season. Follow us, all 3 of us. Gamblers World, Chip, and myself. We are on Twitter, YouTube channel. Hit the like buttons. Tomorrow, Doug is back, and he's officially a gamblersworld.net member. He's official. No more. I could hype him up now a little more. Before I was always we do the show, and I was like, I don't know how to really sell Doug. He's not here. I don't know what to say. Now it's a little easier for me. Finding my way in the chair here. Finding my way. Back tomorrow, 3 more winners, 2 today. Let's get it. 1-1 yesterday. Let's go 2-0 tonight. Seattle, Giants run line for Chip, myself. Winner Circle. We're out of here. Bye-bye.